Hi, this is Mrs. Solano, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a compound interest problem. Okay, so we have our formula. A equals P times 1 plus R to the T power. Okay, so this has a lot of variables in it, so I'm going to go ahead and explain what each variable means. So A is the amount accumulated. So that's the total amount of money owed or earned. So it's the principal plus the interest. So for example, if let's say you take out a loan and your loan is $1,000. Okay, that's your principal, $1,000. And over a certain amount of time, your interest is $300. Well, now you owe the loan plus the interest. So now you owe $1,300. That's what you owe. That is the amount accumulated. It's the principal plus the interest amount. Okay, so next we have P. P stands for principal. Okay, that's the amount of money invested or borrowed. So down here I wrote some additional words. So invested, that's how much money you're putting in. Another word you could say is deposit. Borrowed, that's how much money you are taking out. So you're taking out a loan. So if you see these words, invest, deposit, borrowed, or loan, that's talking about the principal. Okay, so next we have the R, which is rate. That's the percent charged. Very important when you're dealing with percents. You must convert the percent to a decimal anytime you're putting it inside of a formula. And that's what we're doing here. That's a formula. So I have to convert the percent to a decimal. So for example, I have here 8.6%. Well, it's a percent, and I know that because it has a percent sign with it. So I need to go ahead and find the decimal and move it 2 times to the left. Any empty spaces, I put a 0. So now I have 0.086 or 86 thousandths. And this is the number I would need in order to put for my rate in my formula. Okay, next I have T, which is time. That's the time in years the money is invested or borrowed. Okay. Another way you might see the word annual. Annual means once a year. So I wrote that down for you. So now let's look at our example. Example 1 says your $700 investment earns 6% interest compounded annually. How much is your investment worth after 2 years? Okay, well, they're talking about a $700 investment. So we have investment, which means that's the principal amount. It earns 6% interest. Okay, so that's our rate. Remember, the interest is the rate. Compounded annually, that's why I have this formula here. I have to use the compound interest formula for this. How much is your investment worth after 2 years? So now here we have our 2 years. That's our time in years. Okay, so now my formula. Well, it says compounded annually, so I have to go ahead and use this formula. So we have our formula here. A, which is the amount accumulated, equals the principal amount times 1 plus the rate to the power of T, which is the time in years. Okay, so here we have here A. So the amount accumulated. Our principal amount was $700 because we invested that amount of money, times the number 1 plus our rate. Okay, so our rate, remember, it's a percent, but I can't just put it back into my equation like this, my formula. So I have to find the decimal. The decimal's hiding in the back. I'm going to move it 2 times to the left, once, twice. Fill any empty spaces with a 0. So now in my formula, I'm going to go ahead and put 600ths. So I have here, so 1 plus 0.06 to the power of t, which is time. So my time in years is 2. Okay? So this is how I would set up my compound interest problem. Now the question is asking, how much is your investment worth after 2 years? Well, if I put this into a calculator, then I would go ahead and find out the amount accumulated. Then I'd find out how much the investment was worth. But all we're going to worry about is setting up our problem. Okay, so now that we have done this example, in your ISN, you have example 2. I want you to set this one up only, so don't worry about solving it. Set it up how we set it up here. And we will go ahead and discuss our answers in class. Thank you for your time.